Hello everyone, in this video we are going to compare the characteristics of American and Indonesian in the certain aspects such as lifestyle, religion, and the government system. Well, first of all, we are going to talk about the lifestyle. Okay, without any further ado, let's begin. Lifestyle is the way of life of individuals, families, and communities which they manifest in overcoming their daily physical, psychological, social, and economic environment. Well, what is the difference between American's lifestyle and Indonesian lifestyles? Let's begin with the eating and diet lifestyle. Every country has its own characteristic in eating and diet style. In America, people usually eat with a fork and also knife. Knife is used for cutting and spreading food. Moreover, fast food such as chips, fried chicken, hamburgers, pizza, and tacos tend to be eaten with the fingers. Besides, many Americans believe that carbohydrates, sugars, and fats are the key sources for weight gain. Americans consume 31% more packaged food than fresh food, and spend 10% of their disposable income on fast food every year. Americans generally prefer coffee to tea, with more than half that adult population drinking at least 1 cup a day. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, people usually eat with spoon and fork, but sometimes they only use finger to eat. Rice becomes the main food in this country. They eat rice 3 times a day, which added with the side food and vegetable. Indonesian people like to eat fried food and sweet food. Therefore, Indonesian people often deal with diseases like diabetes and cholesterol. Indonesians also prefer coffee to tea. They usually drink coffee before working to give more energy. The second is recreation. In America, such as baseball, basketball, American football become the most popular sport in that country. Many Americans enjoy an enormous range of activities such as soccer, cycling, racquetball, tennis, swimming, golf, bowling, walking, jogging, and aerobic exercise. Generally, Americans spend a large amount of their leisure time for socializing or watching television. Other leisure activities include going to the cinema or concert, picnicking, and traveling. Many Americans volunteer for a wide range of causes, for raising funds to help those who are less fortunate, to tutoring students or leading scout troops and youth sport. Even city dwellers enjoy spending time in the great outdoors, camping, hiking, or hunting. Meanwhile, football and badminton become the most popular in Indonesia. The society also enjoys some activities such as climbing, soccer, cycling, jogging, swimming, gym, and etc. Commonly, Indonesians spend their leisure time for traveling, go to beach, shopping, picnicking, and etc. Many Indonesians also voluntarily involved in social activities such as charity and etc. The third is socializing. In America, women and men usually smile and shake hands when greeting. Moreover, in casual situations, a wave usually used instead of a handshake. Americans is friendly. When they meet strangers on the street, they usually say hello or good morning, even though they meet without any greeting. Moreover, among American teenagers, verbal greeting or various hand-slapping gestures such as high five are common. However, in formal context, once they are acquainted with each other, people generally address each other by their first name, and often do so at the first meeting. Meanwhile, Indonesian people also usually smile and shake hands when greeting, except for certain Muslim women when they greet to men. Indonesian is mostly friendly. They will give smile to strangers when meet on the street. Moreover, among Indonesian teenagers, clapping their friends' shoulder are common. Indonesia teenagers also call their friend using nickname. The fourth is holidays and celebration. There are many national holidays in the US, starting from New Year in the 1st January, and in February, America celebrates Abraham Lincoln birthday on 12 February and George Washington birthday on 22nd February. Many Americans also celebrate Easter, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas. In Easter Day, people usually go to church for worshiping. In Easter Day, children often draw Easter eggs. The second celebration is Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving is celebrated by sharing an elaborate dinner, often including turkey and several other dishes, with family and friends. Meanwhile, when Christmas coming, Americans traditionally decorate their home with a Christmas tree, colorful light, and rich. They send greeting cards to their friends and family, sing Christmas carol, and shop for gifts. Moreover, many Americans who are practicing Christian go to church on this day to honor the birth of Jesus. Many Americans also celebrate Christmas by joining their family or friends to exchange gifts, share a meal, and observe other traditions, which might vary according to region or family heritage. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, there are also many national holidays, starting from the 1st January as New Year. On April, Indonesia celebrates Kartini Day, and in August, Indonesia also celebrates Independence Day on 17 August. Moreover, there are also religious holidays such as Eid Mubarak for Muslims, Christmas for Christian and Catholic, and Seclusion Day for Hindus.
Next, we're gonna talk about religion in the United States and in Indonesia. Religion is a belief that everyone has in themselves. There are many different religions. Each religion has different belief. Trust is about the world and the people in it, about how they arise, what their goals are, and which God they worship. Every religion also has a moral code, which is about belief in how human must act. Every religion usually has their own type of devotion when people worship or pray. They often perform rituals, special things that are always done in the same way. For certain times of the year or certain times in a person's life. Talking about religion here, I will compare religion in the United States with religion in Indonesia. First, we're gonna talk about religion in the United States. Religious life in the United States has a tradition of religious tolerance, and every resident has total freedom of religion without hindrance from the state or community. The establishment and free exercise of religion is enshrined in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. In the United States, there are various kinds of religions, such as Christianity, Catholic, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and atheism, or no religion. So, the majority of people in the United States are Christian. Religion is conspicuous in the United States where it's a part of everyday life. More than 90% of Americans claim to believe in God. Then, around 14% they worship in the church every week, and they also believed in life after death. In the United States, Christians are divided into three groups, such as Protestant, Catholic, and Orthodox. Christians believe that there is only one God, but that there are three elements to this one God. First, God the Father, the second, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And not surprisingly, more Americans believe in heaven, around 18%, than hell, around 16.5%, and 17% believe in life after death. Muslims believe that their God sent some purpose to mankind to teach them how to live according to His law. And there is also the religion of Judaism. Judaism is people who believe that there is only one God who has an agreement. The Jews obeyed God's laws and tried to bring holiness into every aspect of their life. Talking about religion in the United States, people in America are free to do whatever they do. They are free to worship anywhere and they are free to worship their God, whom they think is right, so they are very easy to worship. And meanwhile, in Indonesia is officially Indonesia with a compromise made between the ideas of an Islamic state and a secular state. Indonesia only has 6 religions, such as Islam represent 6.96%, Christian represent 2.9%, Catholic represent 1.69%, Buddha represents 0.05% and Hindu represents 0.172% and Konghucu represents 0.13%. If the Christians in America are divided into 3 such as Christian, Catholic, and Orthodox, then in Indonesia Christianity is only divided into 2 such as Christianity and Catholic. In Indonesia, there is no religious freedom. In fact, the constitution protects religious freedom. They only worship one God who is their belief. In the residents in America is mostly Christian. It contrasts with the resident in Indonesia. The majority of people are Muslim. In Indonesia does not recognize agnosticism or atheism. Talking about religion in America has total freedom of religion without hindrance from the state or community. It's different in Indonesia. Mostly people like Christian and others are very difficult and many hindrance to building a place of worship. They must get a permit first to the government and community. That's all about the comparison of religion in America and Indonesia.
In this video, I would like to explain about culture between Indonesia and America, especially about governments. Government is the system or group of people governing an organized community, often a state. And comparing the presidential government system in Indonesia under civil law system with a presidential system of the United States. Under a common law system, it can be understood from the development of the characteristic of constitutional system of each country. The establishment of the Republic of Indonesia based on the style of life of Indonesian nation that kinship system and will use a system of governance in accordance with a pattern of society. However, with the reference in 1998, a Census presidential government system was agreed on agenda of the assembly sessions that discussed the change in the constitutions of 1945. In the implementations of the presidential system in Indonesia is growing. In the civil law system, there is also the influence of common law. Between United States and Indonesia, they have different ideology. Between Indonesia, we have Pancasila as an ideology, meanwhile in United States has different ideology. And I would like to divide it to several parts. Of comparing between United States and Indonesia. The first one is President's term of office. Presidents on Indonesia was chosen for 5 years term, while the presidents was in United States are elected for four term. In both of the country, the presidents only can be chosen for 2 terms. And the second one is presidential election method. In Indonesia, the president is chosen directly by
The method of the most votes in the elections general. President's candidates who get votes above 50% of the people are declared as a winner. Meanwhile, in the United States, the president is chosen indirectly. Elections winner, the presidential candidate who gets the number of elections voted the most. This election voter is obtained by getting the most votes on presidential election in the state. And then next is about forms of stage. The forms of stage in Indonesia is a unitary stage, so that every rules made in the central level such as the presidential degree will apply at all the regions of Indonesia instead. The United States is federal, so that each state has authority from its own law. The central governments of the United States only authorized to regulate joint state affairs, such as transportation and interstate trade, international relations, and defense. And next about legislative institutions. And the last one about legislative institutions. Indonesia has two legislative, namely the House of Representatives or DPR, and the second one is MPR. Meanwhile, the United States have two legislative, namely the House of Representatives and Senate, who together forms the United States Congress. Member, the House of Representatives represents certain electoral districts, while the Senate represents states. However, in the United States, both of legislative chambers represents the party political. Besides that, the Senate has the ability to reverse the House decision representative. And for voting rights are almost universal for citizens aged 18 years older. All states and Washingtons contribute to the presidential elections. However, in Washington or other areas of the United States that are not states in a state have a few representatives in Congress. These constitutions are don't have the right to choose any political figure outside the representative theory. Each Commonwealth, territorial, or district can only choose representatives who don't have the right to serve in the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, voting rights in Indonesia are direct, general, free, confidential, honest, fair, and all of Indonesian people who are 70 years old have the right to vote. Well, that's all about our discussion and explanations about comparing culture between Indonesia and United States. Thanks for watching.